Hey, I'm Zero, and this is Only Nice Things, the show that punishes negative opinions with alcohol. Today I watched My Asian Auntie, which is a YouTube series from the Art School Dropouts. Basically, the idea is this old auntie picks up her niece from the airport, and then they're accosted by gang members in the garage. What we find out is the auntie actually has martial arts abilities, and she's able to, defend against these gang members.
Oh my god, good job, baby. I didn't know you could do that.
Thanks. I didn't know you could fight.
Okay, so let's talk about the Only Nice Things. The main actor definitely has some martial arts ability. You can clearly see his hits. He definitely knows what he's doing, alongside with the the other actors he's fighting with. One of the things I really liked is that the choreography here is actually very clear. The shots are blocked really well, and you can clearly see like the hits when they're coming in. A lot of martial art movies, tend to use shaky cam, and sometimes the editing isn't that great, so it's hard to see exactly what's happening in the fight. But here, the shots are set up very simple. There isn't too much handheld camera, so we aren't getting a lot of movement with the camera all the time. But it's nice. Things are very clear. The action is staged very well, and I appreciate that. One of the nice things about the choreography is that you can always tell the spatial relationship between the characters and the background, which goes back to how it was shot. It's always very clear to see where the actors are in relationship to the other actor and to the background. So when the scenes are editing and the characters are fighting each other, you're never losing a sense of where anyone is in the fight, because fights can be confusing if they're shot very hectically or very erratically. One of the other things I liked that they used was a smoke effect when you got certain impacts. I know this is an old school technique. Jackie Chan has used it plenty in his films. So when there's a big hit, the actor will have maybe some chalk or some powder on their foot or their hand. So when they make contact with the face or something like that, you see that mini explosion of dust, and it definitely makes more of an impact when that hit actually connects. I actually really like the amateur look and feel of everything, because obviously these guys, they're just doing it on their own time maybe, and they're doing it with their, with their friends and family. And when you watch it, obviously you're going to see things like, oh, this was shot in somebody's front yard, this was shot in somebody's house. That reminds me of the days when I was a kid and just playing with a video camera and just shooting around with my friends. And you can tell that there's like a lot of people just like putting their own personal time and just having fun with it. You get a sense of that. I actually enjoyed the additional Filipino auntie character for obvious reasons, and I'm a little biased. It was nice to see that there wasn't only one martial arts auntie in that universe, and she actually had a friend who was also capable and equipped to handle herself. One scene I actually thought to be pretty funny was when the auntie was telling niece to get dressed because of how she was dressed before she left the house.
Where the hell are you going?
Auntie, I'm just going to the mall.
Not like that, you're not.
Obviously, I'm not wearing anything that scandalous, but I have younger sisters, and growing up, my grandmother would do something different and tell them to put on just like mounds and mounds of clothing before they went out, because they looked inappropriate. So that was an aspect I really enjoyed, because I can personally relate to it. So that's it for the Only Nice Things portion of this show. If you're sensitive to negative comments and criticisms, you could probably just leave now. For anyone else who wants to play the drinking game, stay tuned. So, what did I really think about My Asian Auntie? Well, for starters, the man in a drag aspect of it didn't really do anything for me. While it's a pretty funny visual gag at first, the fact that you're just always seeing it and you realize that yes, this is indeed just a guy with a wig on in an older woman's outfit, it didn't really strike me as too funny anymore, especially considering that I guess the actor playing him didn't really do like a woman's voice or didn't even shave. He's still all fully haired up there, so it's not like he was even trying to possibly pass as a woman. It was just a dude with a wig on, but no one ever acknowledges that in this universe. I guess it's supposed to be an aunt. Like I'm guessing it's supposed to be a real woman, but it's just a guy in a wig, unfortunately, and this comedy aspect didn't work for me.
Whoa, who's this old fat Asian lady here?
Excuse me, bitch. All right. This is the house special and dim sum. Plus, you don't talk to women like that. Did your parents, your mother, like teach you to be better to women?
The things I feel that didn't work too well were the comedy aspects of it. A lot of the jokes just kind of fell flat for me. Some of the exchanges, some of the acting wasn't really that great, but I understand this is a smaller production. But yeah, it just didn't, I wasn't really laughing too much. There were a few funny instances here and there, but for the most part, like this wasn't really laugh out loud funny. There's a few chuckles, but there's also a few moments where I'm just like, yeah, that wasn't really funny, or that didn't really do anything.
Oh, you go, girl. Yeah, get out of here, you silly fucks, stupids.
Another joke that kind of fell flat for me was when the old instructor comes to visit Auntie and tries to convince her to go back to his school, I believe, and they do a fight, and in between that they start dancing in between the moves. While this is something we've seen before in other martial arts movies, it is a pretty cheesy thing, and wasn't really that funny to me, unfortunately.
Please come back to the school.
So I did mention in the Only Nice Things section of this video that I did like the backyard look and feel of it, that it was shot, in somebody's neighborhood. But the low budget aspect of it did hinder it in some places, like when they're recording in the garage. Sometimes you're getting a lot of this background noise, so it's a little hard to pick up what people are saying.
What's up, girl? How you doing?
Yeah, hold on. I have some dumbasses to deal with today. Hi.
The constant use of that generic swoosh kung fu sound effect. Now I understand what they were going for, trying to make it feel like maybe like an old school kung fu movie, but the constant use of the same sound effect, or maybe 1 to 2 to 3 different sound effects, got a little annoying because you're just hearing it over and over and over again, and it just gets a little too repetitive. So to wrap things up, My Asian Auntie, it's pretty enjoyable to watch. It's short, it's very concise. If you look on YouTube, the videos are 5 minutes each, but there are like intros and outros to each of those videos. So everything might be only 2 minutes each, so it's pretty fast actually.
Oh, you forgot something?
Yeah, like I mentioned, unfortunately, a lot of the jokes didn't really do it for me. The whole guy in drag thing doesn't really appeal to me. I don't really think it's funny. But I mean, Tyler Perry has been doing it for years, and he's making a lot of money off that series.
You don't have to wait too long to see this one. It's in theaters March 1st, 2019. Hallelujah! Hey, check it out, y'all. Check it out. Hallelujah!
But they are doing a season 2, which is why I watched this season actually, because I was kind of curious. So I don't think the actor has shaved at all. I'm still pretty sure it's just him with a wig and an auntie's dress on.
Not really a woman, sorta.
I'd recommend this as a short watch. You can get through it pretty quickly, as I've mentioned, and you get to see some nice amateur martial arts on screen. Now it's time to tally up the drinking score for My Asian Auntie. Let's see how many times I said something negative about it, and how many times I had to drink for it. This has been the Only Nice Things review of My Asian Auntie. Hope you enjoyed watching. Come drink with me next time.